but the only thing I will say or kind of argue is the gold digger one, because a lot of Black women, I will say, I don't know if gold digger is the word I would describe us for the most part as, because although we do get the delusional women that's looking for the 100K and up, for the top 10%, top 3% men, and and aren't even that tier of women to classify for that type of man. But also, for your average Black woman, a lot of the times they don't have a problem dating other average Black men. I mean, it happens every damn day. We date each other all the time, okay? Right. But I think a lot of us, especially when it comes to the work part, is mostly like we want our men, we want control. It goes back to the control point they want, because we want our men to have money to provide for us, but we will work just as hard, or if not harder, just to have it back, just in case he doesn't have it, just in case, he leaves me, just in case he cheats, just in case, whatever the case may be, So we try to keep that as a stash, is honestly for control. So it's like we still have some sort of control, because that's, again, honestly, deep-rooted issues with fear and with our men. And, not to say we're scared of our men, but fear, trust issues, really, to be honest, with our men. And thinking that they're going to leave us, thinking that they're going to abandon us in some way, So, we do have to take that into account. I think gold digger, for some, like I said, I want to kind of argue it, because I still.
Well, I understand what you mean, because I think the idea is women are hypergamous anyway. So it's not that Black women are just gold diggers. So I understand what you're saying. Women want to date up. They want to date financially up. So I think that's a woman nature instead of just Black women, white air, So I understand what you're saying that. But still, for the average man, I can understand where it's like, damn, I don't make enough for you. But I still make more than you.
Yeah. But even if they don't, honestly, like I said, a lot of the average men, like it's a fear of relinquishing control. You don't want to give all control to. Is that a mirror? That's my sister. I'm weak. Hey, y'all. Oh, weak. Shout out, that's my twin. Shout out to my twin.
Hey, twin.
Yeah, I got a twin sister, identical.
I know. I saw. Let's go.
But I lost my train of thought when I see the mirror. But Black women losing, not wanting to relinquish control to Black men completely. That's why we try to still get the education, still try to work and things of that nature, while men still provide, because even the average man, they can still provide. There's a bunch of white women living all 40, 50,000, living all like and not working, staying at home. Like you can do it, especially if you're a crafty woman, you're in your feminine and you know how to create and manifest and
it's just going down. You might not have a house, you can have a nice apartment, keep it clean, keep it cooked.
Everybody don't live luxurious,
and it's okay. You make your house your castle. Yeah. Whatever it looks like. I've always been taught that. I don't, and I'm one to always live under my means, because I've been broke with nothing.
Yeah, me too.
And regardless of money, I'm always going to live under my means. So I definitely understand that. So, man, like I said, but when I saw that list and our behaviors has now, and it has always kind of manifested itself in the media. And so if you look at Black women, first we started off as the mammies, but then, when you're looking at, you might be too young for this, but Aunt Esther off Sanford and Son, you fish-eyed food. She was the epitome of a Black woman with attitude.
Yeah.
And then it was so funny because people could relate to her. And that's why she was so, famous. Because it was like, oh, she reminded me of my auntie that be in the church calling me a fish out of food. Well, she had a whole attitude, no man, single, old, and bitter. And then I look at, what's another one? Living Single. It's my genre back in the 90s. Maxine Waters. Maxine Waters was a lawyer.
Headstrong.
Headstrong.
Independent.
She had an attitude, could speak you out to the gods. Yeah. And Cal wanted to love on her. That was a good man.
Yeah.
And refused. And did everything to fight her being in a solid relationship.
Yeah. Although it was funny. But
it was funny. Okay, but again, you know, we're making comedy out of realistic stuff that happens in our community, and that was something. And we didn't. I know as a child didn't think nothing about it, but now kind of thinking about it now was like, man, Maxine Waters is the epitome of what these Black women with PhDs and career oriented that use men for just kind of sex, but not worthy of them to be in a real loving relationship.
Yeah.
And then would cuss them out because they're scared to be in a relationship.
That's real. That's right around that time was when Black women started to become more desensitized to it. That's when they was pushing the working woman, the working woman of the 90s, and
the whole show was living single.
Yeah, everybody who living single was the working woman.
Working woman, you know, one was a little slutty, one was dancey, one was Queen Latifah, you know, she worked a lot, but who, you know. And then Maxine Shaw was so headstrong.
Yeah.
And you know, and the only one that had a man that got married was the dancing one that didn't play into, you know, she had a side job. She wasn't owning nothing, but she stayed, you know, sweet natured. Oh man, I might be preaching right now. The only one that was sweet natured and kind and wasn't overbearing with work and had an attitude was the one that got married.
Yeah, that's true.
Did I just said a word? Yeah,
you kind of did though. Yeah. I mean,
the only one. Come on, Obi.
Hey,
and the rest of them stayed single.
Right, and they was together the whole joint.
And next thing someone said Sinclair. Yes, it was. Sinclair was the only one that got married, and she wasn't making all that money. Wasn't talking about degrees. She was just simplistic and sweet.
Yeah, and her feminine, as she should be, as they should have been. Yeah, but that was the turn of the age of, you know, propaganda pushing Black women. You know, even with A Different World, that was the same thing. You know, even with shows like the Cosby Show. You know, a lot of us looked up to the Cosby Show, but Claire Huxtable, she was a whole damn lawyer out here in the streets. Or was she a doctor? Was she a doctor or a lawyer? She was a lawyer.
Oh no, Claire was a lawyer.
A lawyer, yeah, she was a lawyer. Like she was a whole lawyer out here. You know, I mean,
but you know, she never took her work home.
Yeah. That's a fact. But what I'm saying is they made it kind of unrealistic because, she was very involved in her kids' lives. It was a perfect picture, but realistically, that takes up a lot of your time. You know, you know, they're not showing that disconnect that happens a lot of the times when Black women are put in those positions, especially when the man he has a busy job too. You know, so they could have been some realistically, they could have been some badass kids. All of them could have been juveniles and delinquents. You know, in a household like plenty of rich kids that grow up like that. You know,
but you know what I appreciate with those shows, and which we don't have now, is that it showed Black families.
Yeah,
you know, when I look at my wife and kids, which is one of my favorites, you know, but we don't have these images. Again, our images are what, if we can just kind of get our image together, I do think that's another reason or another way that we can kind of build and be together.